morning, everyone. It is Monday morning and I am back in my classroom after being at the Ron Clark Academy. I am so pumped and excited and ready for today. I cannot even express how excited Ron Clark gets you ready to be back in the classroom. So I am getting observed today. I'm actually getting observed by a few different people. So this morning I'm getting observed by my principal. This is like my have to get observed because I'm a first-year teacher here. So that is this morning. This afternoon we have a groups of third grade teachers that are coming into the classroom to kind of see what it is that we are doing at our school. That's kind of my day-to-day, is I'm just in an observation mode today. I decided to wear my Issa Bindi shirt so that I could have courage today, so I'm very excited about that. I have been busy copying and getting some things done. When I came in on, when was it? Sunday. I came in on Sunday because they actually opened up the school for a few hours. So I came in on Sunday and my room was a hot freaking mess. Papers were everywhere. The door, like the cabinet doors were all open. It was chaotic, but I got it cleaned up. That was nice because then I wouldn't have had to worry about that this morning. That would have been extremely stressful. So this week we are like week before testing. How exciting is that? So I created this little booklet of text-dependent analysis. I went through and did a note section, so the kids are going to be able to fill all those out. They're going to fill out what each letter in race means, and then at the very end they'll also do that. So it takes them through answering multiple choice questions. What are some things that as a writer we look for there's the writer's checklist, and then we have a passage. So this is one passage that we're going to do together. Put that in there. I have a Kahoot game that has multiple choice, so the kids are going to be doing a Kahoot game with multiple choice here. And then we have their text-dependent analysis. So we have two different planning pages there. We talk about transitions here, and then we're going to go into full-fledged writing mode. And then we will do the exact same thing using two different pieces of text to be able to answer a text-dependent analysis. So that's my little booklet. This is kind of what we are going to be working on this week. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Text-dependent analysis. I also have some little cards that I have printed out. It has some of the key words and terms that we use as readers. So I'm going to keep some of these cards out so the kids can be able to use those. I'm also going to be using my strategy cards, like my partnering cards, to be able to partner up my kids and put them into groups when they come to my table. I have about 20-ish minutes before 8 o'clock, and then I have to meet with my principal to discuss what I am doing, because I have to kind of fill out this whole huge like form. I think it's like 12 questions or something. It's crazy ridiculous, but I have to fill out this form, and in this form it just asks me a lot of questions about my learners, and then it asks me questions about my lesson. So we'll sit down for like the pre-observation discussion, and we will discuss my lesson. He'll come and observe me. I'll have to fill out more questions, and then we'll have a post-observation, and then he'll give me my scores. Oh, it's a whole process, y'all. It's a whole process. I'm already tired just thinking about it, but that's okay. We're just gonna push through, right? Push through. It is my last break for the day. I just wanted to kind of tune on into you guys and just talk to you a little bit about my observation this morning. I have been eating Lucky Charms and drinking soda, so I'm so sorry if I keep messing with my stuff. Anyways, so I had my observation this morning, and here is kind of how we do our observations. And I know every district is just a little bit different with their observations. So typically you're on a 3 or 4 year cycle. For me, like, I'll have observations for my first 3 years, and then I think I kind of take a break, and then I'll get observed once again. So when I get observed, my principal comes to me, or he emails me, and he tells me, hey, I need to do your observation. Here are the dates, here are the times, please pick one. And then I pick one, and I will email him back and tell him what time and date that I would like to be observed. So once that happens, then he will go into some type of system. It's called Oasis, but that's just the system that we use. So not all schools, once again, are the same. They are screaming up a storm, aren't they? So I will go into Oasis, and then I'll have to complete my pre-observation list. And these are just things like, you know, what are some things that you're going to do to make accommodations? What are some prerequisites that you need in order to teach this lesson? How are you going to accommodate for all different learning styles? So it's just about like 12 questions that I have to go through and talk about my lesson and what it is that I'm doing. Once I do that, my principal will tell me, okay, we're gonna set up a meeting, we're gonna have our pre-observation. Usually it's like the day before, but because I was at the Ron Clark Academy and I chose Monday, he told me that we could just do it Monday morning and that would be fine. So this morning I went in, sat down with him for like literally about 10 minutes. All I had to do was just walk him through, tell him what my lesson was gonna be like, and that was about it. Then he came in and observed me. Now, it is very nice that I know when my principal is coming in. However, I do not change the way that I teach just because my principal is coming in. Like, I don't make a big like hootenanny type show just because my principal is coming in, because honestly this is the time for your principal to be able to help you and give you constructive like criticism and to give you feedback on what are some things that they notice that you're doing really well, and then what are some things that they notice that you still need to kind of improve on. So this is not a time that I really want to kind of change up my teaching. I keep my teaching the exact same, and y'all listen, we have PSSAs coming next week, so it's like I need to like crunch in a couple of things that I really want to make sure that my kids kind of understand and have an idea about before, you know, that time. So it wasn't like I was gonna do this really big exciting like lesson, because I didn't do anything like that. What I did do instead is I did take a little bit of pieces from the Ron Clark Academy that I took from this last week when I was there, and I kind of incorporated some of those things in my lesson because I really did want to try them, and I was like very excited to try some of those things. I had some people come into my room, so I had to stop and talk to them. So I was talking about how I had found some things that I really liked, and I thought that I would incorporate some of those things into my lesson from the Ron Clark Academy. So one of the things that I noticed while I was there was that the kids had these little bitty booklets, and their booklets were somewhat similar, but it fit the topic that they were learning about. And I saw this in a science class, and then I think I saw it in like a political science. If I'm right, I'm not really sure. I can't really pinpoint where I did see them. But I saw these and I figured, oh, this is really neat. I really like that idea. So what I did was I went home and I ended up looking at what is it that I wanted to teach for that week. What was it that I wanted to focus on? And I wanted to focus on text-dependent analysis. My kids understand how to do text-dependent analysis, but I never worded it text-dependent analysis. So I wanted to make sure that I used that vocabulary, and that's what we kind of did. We went through and we're working with some multiple choice. I incorporated a little bit of a Kahoot, but it's all mapped out here inside of this little booklet, and this is the booklet that I'm going to teach from for the entire week. So I know kind of what I'm going to do because everything's pretty much in this booklet, but I don't have it specific as in day 1 this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop here. Day 2, I don't have it that way. I get as far as I can get with my kids within those 25-30 minutes that I am with them. If I can't get any further than that, or they're not understanding something and I have to kind of slow it back down and kind of revisit things, I'll revisit those things. But if I can go ahead and push them on and keep going and keep chugging along with it, then I'll continue on with this booklet. But I have kind of a general idea, and then I incorporated a lot of those strategies that are just really, really good teaching. You know, having kids share, having kids turn and talk, having them stand up and being able to explain themselves. So I incorporated a lot of that into the lesson. So if you look here, like I started it with a little note section, so the kids had to do notes. And then I have like a little checklist here that talks about a multiple choice checklist, and then a writer's checklist, and then we have our first text here. And this is something that I totally did not come up with as far as this text. I went onto the PSSA website and I found this text, and I wrote this text right here. So that's pretty much all I did. So I wrote this text here, and this is where the kids would be mapping all of those. Then we have multiple choice, and these are like bubbles. These are their bubbles that right here, sorry. Here are the bubbles that they would have to do. Now, we would do it with a Kahoot. So I would have it in a Kahoot game, but then they would transfer their answers back to the bubble sheets. So that's kind of the plan there, to give them some more of that practice bubbling it in, because in 3rd grade they didn't have to do that. So this is the first year that they're having to bubble in their own answers, and I want to make sure that I'm giving them that practice of how to bubble things in. Then we have, again, more planning pages, and this is where right here it talks about the text-dependent analysis question, and then I'm going to show them some strategies of how we can organize some of that, and this is where I would put some of that information. And then they had 2 pages of that to be able to organize their information that they're pulling out to kind of get them ready for writing. It's our brainstorming process, right? Because that's what we do as writers. We brainstorm our information and we map it out here so that when we go to start writing it, we have a better idea of how we want it to flow. Then we're going to talk about transitions and some of those transition words that we could use within our own writing. And then they have a spot to be able to complete their writing inside of the booklet. And this may be something that we actually do together, but we're writing it out together and we're working on it together, and then I may be scaffolding some of that writing later on. Then I come to the next piece. And the next piece looks like this. So again, it's a note section, and this is where I'm going to talk about how 2 texts can be have the same exact topic, and there is going to be a text-dependent analysis question that requires you to pull information from both of those different texts. So I want to show them what that would look like as well. And so we have that part and we go through. Here's one text here. There's the second text there. And we do the exact same thing that we did in the other text as well. So this is kind of my lesson for the entire week. This is what I'm doing with them for the entire week. And everything that I'm doing is just pretty much good teaching. So I by no means like try to change my entire way of teaching just because my principal is coming in. I don't do that. That's not how I teach. I want to be able to make sure that whatever it is that I am doing is correct, and it is what I'm supposed to be doing and what he expects of me. I want to show him what I do on a day-to-day basis so that I can be criticized and I can see how is it that I can grow as an educator, how is it that I can help my kids in the future, versus me trying to give him a hootenanny show and then putting on like a dog and pony show for him and then never get any real feedback back from him. So he came into my room and he sat down, and I was already in the middle of my lesson. We had talked about, we had gone over, we reviewed some things. I did my little driving in the car, going on a little road trip talk, and we went through that. And so the kids had opportunities to go through the text. The very first passage I went through, we modeled it, I read it out loud. They got to chime in on some of the words that I would leave out as I was reading, and we kind of just talked about it. I said, well, what is happening in this part of the story? What's going on in this text? And they kind of shared that with me. And then I told them, okay, well, this is going to be our first picture. This is where we're going to take that picture and we're going to write that picture down. So they wrote the number 1, and then they wrote down what was kind of happening, what was the event that happened in that section. And then I split them up into partners. So they had their partners and they kind of split up into their partners, and with their partners they start to go through the rest of the text. And I was took that opportunity to be able to walk around, kind of listen into their reading, and then also start to ask them some of those questions and really get them thinking about what was happening in the text. I did not get to where I wanted to get. I was hoping that I was going to get to the Kahoot game. I did not get to the Kahoot game, and that is completely okay because my kids were not ready for that yet. I want to make sure that I set them up for success, and that I'm not just trying to give them a whole bunch of stuff just to give them a whole bunch of stuff so I can incorporate all this stuff into this fancy lesson. That is not how it works. And I told my principal that. I said, you know, this is kind of the plan for the whole week. This may take multiple days because I'm scaffolding that as we go. So he totally understood that. He left after that, and then that was pretty much it. And we kind of went on with our day, and I just kind of kept chugging along. So I think it went well. I don't know yet. I haven't found out yet. When I do find out, then I will let you guys know how my observation went. But I felt like it went pretty well. I have a lot of energy right now just because of coming back from the Ron Clark Academy. I'm like, whoa, let's do this. Let's just change the world. So that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. And I don't know. Overall, it was a really, really good day. I missed my kids. I had lunch with my kids. I sat with my kids. It was a good day. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up my area, get it all ready to go so that I can head back home to go see my boys because I miss them just as much. So I found them. I've been looking for these all day, and I just looked down and I'm like, oh, that's where I put them. I found them. Some of my kids were looking for that today and I couldn't find them. Found them. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I will talk to you later. Hello everyone, it is Tuesday and it is extremely late in the day. I'm so sorry that I did not vlog at all today. I didn't vlog at all. But I came in this morning and I really needed to do some word study stuff, so I started recording a lot of some future tests for my kids and putting those into their Schoology accounts so that they were prepared for that. And then I have been getting ready for a bunch of observations. So I was really fortunate and very blessed that my administration wanted to have our 3rd grade teachers, and I think some of the 2nd grade teachers as well, come up from our partnering schools. So the schools where our kids kind of come from, they came in and they were observing some of the classrooms just to kind of get a feel of how are we doing things on our vertical team, how are things working, how do we run our classrooms, what are some things that we're doing. So I was very fortunate for that. So the past 2 days we've been having rotations of teachers kind of coming in and just kind of standing around, talking with our kids, viewing our lessons, and seeing how everything is going. And today was the last day for that. So I had it all done. Very excited. Our lessons are going fantastic. And I think it's because I have like a burst of energy after the Ron Clark Academy. So that has been very, very nice. I just got done filming a video. So I set it up like right here. But I just got done filming a video because I did one on observation and 10 tips about observations and what are some things that you can be doing for observation time. So if you're curious about that video and have not watched it, I will definitely leave a link to it so that you can go and check it out. But it is now the end of the day. I have not heard back about my observation at all. So my observation was yesterday and I have not heard back anything from it at all, but I have seen my principal and he hasn't mentioned anything. So I'm guessing he'll send me an email later on and I'm just not gonna worry about it, because it is what it is. If there would have been a problem, y'all, he probably would have come and told me right away. So there's no problem. He doesn't say anything, that's a good thing. So one thing I did want to show you guys before I start to kind of head out for the end of the day. Hold on, let me kind of put you down. Okay, so one of the things that I really wanted to show you guys, because I thought this was such a cool idea, and as simple as it is, I never had thought, like I didn't think about even doing anything like this. So when I went to the Ron Clark Academy and I went into Wade King's room, which was phenomenal and it was so beautiful and the music was like banging, it was awesome. The energy is just exciting. He had the kids using these little cards. So they were cards like this. They were pretty small. They weren't very big, but they had kind of like, you know, a cool design to them. And they were just like content cards. They were words that they had been using with their content. And he was challenging them to be able to use them within a sentence. And I said, oh, this is really, really cool. I can do this with what I'm learning about. So I showed you guys the text-dependent analysis page that I created from Ron Clark. It was an idea based off of that. So this is like my week of lessons right here. So I kind of planned it all out and how I wanted to approach it. And I have all of the passages in here. Everything for them to be able to take notes is all in this. So I took this and I also have these. But what's nice is that now I have these kind of laying out on the little tables over here, so that as kids are kind of coming to my table, one of the things I told them today was I want you to just kind of talk with a partner. Talk about the definitions of each of these, and then I want to see if you can try to use them with the sentences today. So that's something that I've been applying and I've been really enjoying it. So they have things like, conclusion and passage, inference, author's purpose, main idea. Again, words that we have been talking about forever, but I just wanted to challenge them to really make sure that they're focusing in on using them in the classroom. So this was something that I really enjoyed, and the kids really enjoyed it because they had the opportunity to just kind of come in and just start talking, which y'all, kids like to talk. Let me tell you, they're all about the talking life. So yes, other than that, that's kind of pretty much what we've been doing. We have a PSSA practice test, or not practice test, I think it's like 15 minutes, but we have a PSSA practice something on Friday, because on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week are our PSSAs in the mornings. So been getting them ready for that, which has been super, super fun, and we are not stressed about it because we have learned everything. We're just learning at how they are going to ask those questions and how they approach to figure out what it is that's going on in our heads for reading. I also just realized that we got a Scholastic book order, and I'm so excited about that. And you guys can help me out with this too. I have, and I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy if I'm walking, I apologize. I have a ton of these Scholastic orders left over, and I saw some really cool things with this, and I want to do something with them. And I'm not really sure. Maybe this could be like something that we do after like a day of PSSAs, because it's been like mind bogging down, and I don't want to give them something that's like really, really difficult and that they have to kind of sit there and think about. Like, I'm not even going to do that to them. Poor kids, would never. But I saw something where they did like a silhouette of a face, and then they took those scholastics and they cut out books that they love, that they're enjoying, and they kind of filled their face with them. So I'm thinking about doing that next week. So we'll see if that actually pans out the way I want to. But other than that, my room is clean. Everything looks great. We had a phenomenal day. We've had a phenomenal 2 days, which I've been very, very excited about. So I think I'm gonna get ready to go home and see my children finally. I wonder if they remember who I am. Scholastic! I'm so excited. I was cleaning up some of my mess. So actually my desk looks awesome. It's super clean, which makes my heart happy. Y'all, this is like one of my favorite times of the year. Like, I don't know why, like some people start kind of checking out at this time of the year where they're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm done. I just want summer to be here. And I'm not like that at all. Like, I am all about being with my kids, and I started to enjoy them a little bit more. I mean, that sounds kind of bad. I mean, not that I don't enjoy them at the beginning of the year, but like, I feel like I've really kind of really gotten to know them. So these are always like my favorite times of the years, are these last like few months that we have together. So it kind of makes my heart a little sad that, you know, it's like leaving so fast, because by the time you guys are watching this, it's April. Oh my gosh, like I can't even believe it. So it's already April, and then May gets here, and the last day of school is like June 1st, 2nd, something like that. So craziness. So I really quick wanted to tune in to say good morning to all of you and hope you are doing well. And then I also wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a tease and that sounds bad, but I may have some really exciting news coming to you very, very, very soon. Today's gonna be a very low-key kind of day. It's nothing crazy. There's no visitors coming into our room, which is kind of good. So I am going to be like jam-packed with my groups today. They're probably gonna run just a little bit longer than normal, only because we really, really, really need to make sure that we get down some of this stuff before next week. We have a PSSA testing. I already told you that tomorrow morning. Like, it's like a practice, and it's like 15-20 minutes. Like, it's not long at all, but it's just to kind of get them into the, oh, this is what it's gonna be like type deal. And we're kind of gonna talk testing etiquette type things. So that's what we're gonna be doing tomorrow morning. And I really need to make sure that my kids completely understand what's about to happen next week. I'm nervous. I've never done a testing. This is gonna be fun. Okay, so a good thing is I don't have to take anything down in my room. I'm sitting around and I'm like looking with my partner teacher, and I'm like, is there things that I need to cover up? And there's probably like one thing that I need to take down. I'm like, good to know. I don't really put up anything very educational in my classroom. But you know what, a lot of the things that we have and a lot of the anchor charts that we take a picture with our iPad, we put it into Schoology, we stick it in, you know, we put it into a book creator, so my kids have access to it constantly. So I don't feel the need to like stick it up. Plus, they don't even look at it half the time. And when they're in my room, they don't even look at my walls. My decoration is just for me, myself, and I. Like, my kids don't even care about it. I have about 20-ish minutes. I really need to go make some coffee. And I'm trying really hard not to drink Diet Coke again today. I've only brought 2 cans, which is really, really good for me, y'all. Like, typically I will drink like, not 2 cans, but I will drink like 3 of those like bottles, like, which is probably extremely bad. So please don't judge me there. I am trying, and we're gonna keep chugging along. So I'm gonna go ahead and start getting some of those things done. I didn't even unpack my bags, so I need to unpack a few of my bags and then fix one of the posters that fell from up there. So I'm gonna do that. I hope that talk to you guys, I guess, during my second break, because my first break I'm gonna be spending it at lunch with my kids. Talk to you later. Bye. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, and I know what you're probably thinking. Bridget, you need to let go of the House of Issa Bindi, but I have good reasons, and I promise you that I washed this shirt. I know I started the week with this shirt, and I know I'm ending the week with this shirt, but I promised you I did wash the shirt last night. So here's the little quick story behind this. I have 4 people on my team. Well, I'm the 4th, so I have 3 other people that are on my team, and there are 4 houses. Well, when I was thinking about what am I going to take them from the Ron Clark Academy, because I want to take something back. It's not like I'm going to be going all the time. It's not, you know, it is what it is. So anyways, so when I was thinking about what it was that I was going to take them, I said, you know what? We could each have our own house. And because the houses fit their personalities like perfectly, I bought each of them a house shirt. So today, well, yesterday, one of my partner teacher was saying, I want to wear my house shirt. So I said, oh my gosh, we should all wear our house shirts. So then we all have our shirts on. So that's kind of the reason behind it. They're wearing their house shirt, so I kind of had to wear my house shirt again, even though I did wear it on Monday. But I promise you, I did wash it. I washed my entire little outfit. So I have my little outfit on for my Issa Bindi house shirt. I'm gonna bring my courage today. I am so stinking excited about what's going to be happening, and I know I can't tell you guys any of this, and I know I'm probably just like building it up, and you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I can already tell you I'm not going back to kindergarten, so please don't think that I'm going back to kindergarten, because that is not happening. But I am so excited about what is going to happen, because the possibilities of the things that we are going to get to be able to do is amazing. So I'm very excited about what's going to be happening. I can't tell you anything until next week, but I am going to be meeting with my partners this afternoon. I think like during my second break, so I may or may not be able to talk to you guys during my second break, but I am going to meet with them during my second break to be able to talk about and get our letters together to send it out to parents, because we have to notify parents next week. So we're getting our letters together, notifying parents next week about it. And yeah, I'm freaking excited, so excited. I will have to say, my room is getting packed up. So there's a hint for you. My room is getting packed up. There will be some moves next year, which is going to end up happening. But I will let you know that my room is going to definitely get packed up, but I will not be able to tell you what it is until next week. I can't wait to be able to explain everything to you guys, and I will definitely do that in a video where I'm just kind of sitting down and talking about what's going to be happening next week. Once that letter does go out, it may not be until the very end of the week, so you may not know until next weekend, and I'm very sorry for that, but it is what it is. So I have my desks set. Here are the desks. All I did was just kind of move them about, and then I moved the smaller ones too. The kids, I'm going to give these first kind of as an option to kids who want to sit on the floor. There are some kids who like to sit on the floor, and they said that for testing that this was going to be okay. So I'm going to give that as an option for them. If not, I can always put my legs on them, because I have the legs there, and that's not going to be that big of a deal. So I have that kind of set up there, and then I'm gonna have like 2 or 3 kids here, 2 or 3 kids here, I think 1 or 2 here, and then I have the desk back there that kids can sit on. So we have the little areas ready to go for our practice today. The kids are getting like 10 questions, 5 of them are math, 5 of them are ELA, and then they're gonna get a calculator. So some of the kids that I have 2 that go out to like small group, that will go out to small group, and then I will get everybody else situated, and we're gonna go through like a practice form of it. So that's what's happening this morning. That's already ready to go. And what's nice is that these can just kind of go right back to what they were. Like, it's pretty easy to just move them back. So I'm excited about that. We're gonna get that done. It's gonna be a good day. It's raining outside, but it's gonna be a good day. We have one little girl who saved up her dojo dollars, and she bought lunch with us. So I stopped, got her a bunch of I was in charge of getting all the sodas. My partner teacher is getting some cookies, I think. The student teacher is getting popcorn, and then we're both chipping in. All 2 of us are chipping in to do pizza. So we're gonna order pizza with her, have lunch with her in the classroom. It's gonna be really nice. So that's happening as well. All right. I gotta clean that up. We have a parent conference at 8 o'clock, so I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday, and I was going through the video from this last week, and I realized that part of the video footage from Friday afternoon was corrupted. So we are not able to use that video footage, which is a little sad, but that's okay. I don't remember anything of which that I was talking about on Friday afternoon. So I'm going to do something a little bit different for today just to kind of wrap up and end my video. I know that so many of you are like requesting and asking about part 2 of the Ron Clark Academy, and I promise that is going to go up, I think maybe on Tuesday. So be looking out on Tuesday for the Ron Clark part 2 video. But what I wanted to share with all of you today is that I went garage sale shopping yesterday, and that's bothering me. Ugh, okay. So I went garage sale shopping. And sorry, that's like my text messages. I guarantee it's probably like a group text happening. Okay. So I went garage sale shopping yesterday. And actually it wasn't even like a garage sale. We went to a couple of churches. So there are a few churches around in the neighborhood where I live that were having some sales. So like a lot of people will come and set up like their things that they sell. And there was one church in particular that had a daycare that was closed out. And they had all of these things that would be so perfect for teacher life, like so wonderful for it. And if you are a like first year teacher or you are in school, guys, this is the time to start looking for some of those things. If you can afford to spend just like $10 here, $10 there, the best place to start looking for some of these like books and games and just things that you're going to be using in your classroom is at these types of places. Go to garage sales, go to those secondhand shops. Those types of places will carry a lot of the things that you could use in your classroom. So I'm really excited about this trip because we actually ended up coming out with 3 boxes of stuff. And it's awesome. So one of the things that I noticed when I went to the Ron Clark Academy was that a lot of the teachers were building in things that had to do with like their passions. So some people were very passionate about politics. Some people were very passionate about music. People were passionate about, creating different environments and being able to have these room transformations. So every teacher kind of had their own little way of doing things. And music was like the biggest piece that I found going across all of these different classrooms. Mainly for kids who have like ADHD, who need to stay focused, that they give them an instrument in order to get them focused and be able to listen for one of those moments when I'm going to be able to use this instrument. And it kept them focused. So I saw that, and then I also saw how other teachers were incorporating music into their lessons, which I thought was phenomenal. And by golly George, I hit the jackpot when I went, because I came out, like I said, with 3 boxes worth of instruments. And this was a phenomenal place to be able to go and find it. So some of the things that I think that I really, really, really like are going to be some of these. I found, I don't even know what these are called. I'm gonna have to go and look, research and look these up so that I can create labels onto my bins, which by the way, I need bins. So I'm gonna have to go and look for some bins to be able to organize some of these things. So this was one of them, and it makes this sound too, which was really cool. Maracas, and I have tons of versions so you can hear like the different sounds of them. So we have maracas that were in there. How cool is that? Rainmakers. I thought these were phenomenal. I think I was able to get like 3 of these, which was awesome. I love this sound too. This was a good one. I'm assuming you hit this with your hand or with your palm to kind of make the sound, but we found a few of these, and each of them are different. Like there are some that have only 1, these have 2, these have 3, make different sounds. And then, oh, these are fun because these are like different colored bells, but then when I went to go and ring them, they all make different sounds, which was really, really cool. I think my favorite out of all of them though are the drums. And I did get a few of these drums, which are phenomenal. So these are like little hand drums. So these are going to be exciting. And I have already some like ideas of how I'm going to incorporate some of these. So one of the things that I thought that would be really cool is that maybe as I'm going through a lesson, and every time I use a different type of word, maybe I could tell, hey, you know, if you have a drum and if you hear this, you're going to go boom, boom, boom. If you hear this word, when I say, like, if I say the word evidence, you know, you will hear, you know, depending on certain things, to really get kids to focus in on what it is that I'm saying. If I give them some type of instrument so that every time I say a certain word that I really want to emphasize on and that I really want them to remember it, I'm going to give them an instrument in order to be able to do it. I could also do it where if I was reading something to them, and perhaps like it could have been like a summary or something to that extent. Every time that I do provide some type of evidence, you would hear this go off. And if this went off, then I would say, well, why do you think that there was evidence? You know, if this was what I actually wanted evidence to be the sound of. So different things like that would just get kids to really focus in so that they could be able to use it. Now, I completely understand and know that whenever I am doing this, that kids are going to want to play with it. And I guarantee you guys, I'm going to let them play with it for probably the first like week. I'm going to give them like 5 or 6 minutes every single day to let them get it all out. Once we have that, then I start to kind of talk about some of the expectations and what is it that you know, how are we going to be using these instruments? When do we get to be able to use these instruments? And slowly start introducing some of those things there. But it was just another way for me to be able to provide some of that engagement, to get kids listening, to get kids excited about the lesson, when lessons sometimes can be really, really boring. So let's face it, not everything that we teach is going to be exciting. Not everything that we teach is going to be this big, huge dog and pony show. And we just can't make every single lesson be that way. But if we can incorporate things like this, that is going to get kids focused in on the lesson and get them really excited about what it is that we're talking about, it just creates a whole new environment for them. And it adds that engagement piece that is sometimes really hard to incorporate into our lessons. Let's see. So another thing that I found, guys, garage sales are probably some of the best places that you're going to be able to find books. I found a ton of books on so many different levels that I was able to snag for my classroom. So, I mean, like Spiderweb Chronicles, these are just like by far some of one of the favorites in the classrooms. 39 Clues are some of those favorites. The Last Olympian, The Secret Tree, Junie B. Jones. And then it's like hardback books as well that are all phenomenal things that kids, I mean, it's just nice to be able to have it, because let's just face it, like going to Books A Million and Barnes & Noble, books are stinking expensive and they really, really add up after a while. And half the times, like, I feel so bad because like my kids just almost destroy them and they're just very loved. They're, like, the books are loved, and after a while you have to kind of replace some of those books because they are well loved and those are books that everybody wants to read. So going to those garage sales and just, it's a better way for you to be able to spend money and not have to spend as much money than what it would be for you to go out. Another amazing find, when I went to this church that was closing out on their daycare. Scholastic readers. A and B Scholastic readers, and these are expensive. These are incredibly expensive. So it's like 5 books of 15 different titles. I mean, brand spanking new that they had, and I was able to get both of these for $5. Like, that's insane. Amazing, amazing deals. So guys, definitely start looking out for some of those things inside of the newspaper. Look to see if you can start finding some of those like in your area so that you can just go. I mean, it doesn't hurt to just go and look around. It doesn't mean that you have to buy something for sure, but you never know when you're actually going to find something that's actually a really, really good deal. So that's kind of all of the things that I got. I'm really excited to be incorporating some of these. Next week is gonna be a week I'm not doing a whole lot because we have testing, so it'll be interesting to see how all of that goes. I am hopefully going to be talking to you guys a little bit more about some of the organization things that you can start incorporating. And please guys, a lot of the things that I talk about on this channel, it's not grade specific. Start thinking about, well, how can I incorporate some of those things into my classroom? How is it that I can twist it and make it fit for the content that I'm teaching, but also fit for some of the things that I'm doing in my room and for my grade level? So that was the same, like we had kindergarten teachers that were going to the Ron Clark Academy, and Ron Clark Academy is middle school. So a lot of the things that I talk about on this channel can be applied to all grade levels. And I'm going to be talking about some things that are really going to pertain to all different grade levels next week. So be sure to tune in next weekend for kind of my week big vlog type deal. I also have another surprise, like I also said, so be watching out on Tuesday for the Ron Clark video, and I have a surprise later on that next week, so be looking out for that as well. Alright, I'm ending this vlog. I'm gonna go spend time with my family, hopefully clean my house, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up, share it out, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!